Trexploration.
Hello and welcome back to Station 823. I'm Albie.
Hi, I'm Chris from Trexploration.
Oh, is this where I do the thing?
You can do
I'm
the
Scott from I'm Scott from That Star Trek Podcast.
Hi, I'm Stacy from Corn Productions Deep Dive TV Podcast.
Hey, you got it right. Good job. That's not easy.
I know how to say the name of my show. You got it once today.
Awesome. Scott, thank you for joining us. We have an Infinite Potato Alliance member.
It is a pleasure to be here after all these years listening to you and the shows that you host and create. Never actually spoken to you
Yes,
directly
I'm
until
super excited.
about 8 minutes ago.
I'm super excited. And we had some technical issues, but luckily it got through this nebula and this time dilation, right? Gravity, time.
Indeed.
All right.
I was so excited when Scott came on that when I introduced myself, I went up like 3 octaves. I sounded like Mr. Haney.
we got some important people with us today. That's exciting. And thank you for joining us. And I appreciate the reason why you're joining us. One, the reason why you're here, you clicked on the thumbnail. So you know we're doing a discussion, a talk about the movie SpaceCamp from 1986. This is episode 2. In our first episode, we talked about basically the PG version. This is SpaceCamp, the movie 1986 After Dark. So we got Scott.
Confused. Wait a minute.
Live and uncensored, except not live because of time dilation, and uncensored maybe, I don't know. Do I monetize this one? Probably not. All right, so why don't we start off by talking a little bit about the history of our relationship with this movie. Scott, have you seen this movie a bunch before?
I have to do this again.
Oh, did I forget
Albie,
why we're here?
Why are we doing this?
Oh, it's a fundraiser.
Hey, if you are a nerd and someone says the name Serenity, you probably think about the classic film about space cowboys. Or maybe you're like, is that one of those space rovers? Was Mars rovers, Serenity? It isn't, but it should be. But hopefully, in the very near future, when someone says Serenity, you'll think, Serenity. Oh, that's that girl that those cool people sent to SpaceCamp. Here's where you come in, cool person. Serenity Burge has always been fascinated by space and science stuff. So when the opportunity came to actually go to SpaceCamp, it was like a dream for her. The down payment has already been paid, and now we're just raising funds to pay the rest of the way there. And you can scan the code that you see on your screen to go to a GoFundMe page and help out. And speaking of helping out, friends from more than a dozen shows and podcasts are working to do their part to help make it happen. In the first video, our team comes together to review the 1986 movie SpaceCamp starring Leah Thompson. Second video, another review of SpaceCamp, but this time it's like an After Dark version with the incredible Scott Matteson. In our third episode, our friends at Al's Place and Deep Dive TV podcast about the Quantum Leap episode Atlantis to support Serenity going to SpaceCamp. And Damon Shigamelli, Stacey Wilcox, and Brian Green, and Hayden McQueenie join Chris and Albie as they watch the infamous Quantum Leap episode Diaper Monkey. I mean, the wrong stuff. And keep checking in because we're adding more people and more videos all the time. Look, SpaceCamp is a one-of-a-kind experience for a kid. It's really cool. Not only is there math and science and STEM and all the stuff you expect, but there's cool projects. It's hands-on. It teaches teamwork. It teaches leadership skills. It is just all around an awesome experience for a kid who's into science. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It's fine. I really did that.
That's why we're here. I'm so excited to talk about this Leah Thompson movie.
I feel like I'm stuck in the wrong movie. Are we in a time loop right now? Because
Bill Murray just drove over a cliff.
Okay.
I'm having some serious deja vu here.
I'm going to see.
I gotta say, we're 4 minutes into the recording, and it is everything I expected from a Chris and Albie production.
I'm actually better than I used to be. Oh my goodness.
Neek isn't even on mic with us and her head just exploded. She doesn't know why.
Oh, does she like organization or something? I have none of that. Okay, so I'm going to GoFundMe.com/Serenity Space Camp to see our current total. That is the GoFundMe we are doing this for. And so far, we have raised 16% of our $1,377 total that we're going after. We raised $216 so far.
Wow.
Woo! So
People
we
are-
are here to help Serenity get to Space Camp.
Serenity being a random stranger who we don't know.
Yes, my daughter. People know her from the Quantum Leap
that
podcast.
random stranger.
She's a very good friend of Station 823. She's best friends with Firefly, which is weird, but it works out. And you might have seen Firefly in many episodes of Station 823 if you're thinking fourth dimensionally. But she's brilliant. She's in private school, and she's taking a science and STEM class to do with space travel. And this is her third year in that school. The school's name's Sora. And their final semester, quarter, I don't know. They're doing Let's Go to Space Camp. And she was able to get in because in her school, they have grades. They don't have like A through F. They have 1 through 5, 5 being the best. And she's been getting a lot of 5s, which is unusual. But she like puts her heart and soul into every project. I think last year, I think I'll play a clip somewhere in one of these episodes, but she did a whole Trapped on Mars vlog, Mark Watney style. And what she did is she was only supposed to have vlog her science experiments throughout the course, like baking soda, making oobleck, like a water pressure vinegar baking soda rocket, different things. And the kids were just supposed to film them doing the experiments. She decided to turn it into a whole narrative deal. And she trapped herself on Mars, and she used each experiment in order to get the transmitter into low Mars orbit so she could get a message to Earth letting them know that she was still alive on the planet. So she got a 5.
Science Officer, Burge reporting. Station 823, Sol 42. You can always cut down the recipe for slime a little bit. I made a friend. Her name is Basil. Work and flip it over. Now run away as fast as you can. Another one down. Non-Newtonian fluid. One of the examples could be cornstarch and water, what used to be called oobleck, I think. Can act like a solid and a liquid depending on the stress applied.
And adhesion is when a water droplet sticks to something that's not water, like maybe the table, the wall, or the floor, or a window.
Now, when that dries, it should work as glue. Now, this is the third and final launch. Hopefully the one to get me. Station 823, to Earth. Am I coming in clear? I need immediate evacuation.
Wow.
So she got into space camp. Oh, thank you to John Irons, the beautiful John Irons. He played NASA in that video. He's a great guy. I wish he could be here.
As always, Albie, nobody knows half of what you're talking about, but it sounds so interesting.
So smart kid, got into space camp. We paid the deposit, me and her mother, and now we just got to raise the rest so she can go early next year. Is it spring? I'm not sure
Not
what
yet.
seasons.
It's still fall.
Fall. No, next year.
Living in Neverwinter, you wouldn't know.
April? That's got to be spring.
April,
Spring?
come she.
Yes, April is spring.
Okay, so
Is that where you're
this coming
stuck?
spring, she'll be going to Huntsville, Alabama to go to space camp if our funding is successful. So on the screen, you'll see a QR code. Just go there anytime you wish. and give the GoFundMe money, like lots and lots of money. Who needs medication? Who needs gas, electric, turkeys?
You have enough food in the fridge. You
Yeah,
can
I mean,
skip
come
one.
on, look at us. I
Come
don't
on.
need to eat. Not right now. She needs to go to SpaceCamp. All right, so we're talking about the 1986 movie SpaceCamp. Scott,
Albie,
are you familiar with this movie, or did you just watch it today?
I am incredibly familiar with this movie,
Woo!
and I watched it today.
Awesome.
I am. Well, at the moment, I'm incredibly distracted because it just struck me now that this is a video podcast, which I have not done in like 8 years. So I kind of forgot that people could see me. Hi.
Oh, that's why I had to say you got to center in your frame. You're kind of over, and I saw half your face.
So back when I was a youngster. Now this movie was 86, so I was about 7 years old when it was released, which means probably 8, 9 years old, somewhere around there is when it became available on VHS. I can't remember exactly how we got it. Back when my brother and I, my brother Tom, another member of the Infinite Potato Alliance podcast network, we would often have a pretty impressive collection of movies on VHS, usually 2 or 3 movies to a tape. I don't know how we got them. I was too young to know. I just know that we had them. So when we got SpaceCamp on one of those VHS tapes, it got watched a lot, over and over and over again. I could recite many of the lines from the movie. I would have memorized the tones and the inflections of most of the dialogue, even if I didn't understand what the dialogue was or what it meant. For example, the whole bit at the launch pad. I didn't know why they were out there. Had no clue what that was about. But all the story elements, all the beats were there. To the point where when I watched it today, probably the first time I've seen it in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
Minimum. And I had no idea how, like, the story structure of the movie, like, is it well made? Is the narrative put together well? I have no idea. Because for me, it's just that old song from when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it just plays in my head. It's no longer its own movie. It's just an ingrained memory that I'm following along with as it goes. So I really have no idea if it's a good movie anymore. So
I think it's good. Chris, what did you come up with? Good, bad, indifferent?
I had not seen this movie ever until today. And I will say that I was not as disappointed as I expected to be. So, is that something?
That's a good thing. What else? So first impressions. I guess that was kind of first impressions, right? Stacy, what are your second impressions?
Well, I did not fall asleep during it.
That's good.
That's we run that risk whenever there's certain topics that don't necessarily, fit the things I want to watch. And considering I'd never heard of this before, it risked falling in that category, but I held through and it was cute. And yeah, it was a nice little story.
That's good. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, Scott, I was thinking that I just watched it on repeat on HBO, but I might have had it on VHS. I do remember Video Treasures put it out. Do you remember Video Treasures? They were like the cheap VHS version of VHS movies where everything was on like SLP and it was really blurry, but it was only like $4 at Kmart.
I don't think we had any of those. For the most part, I would say like 85% of our movie collection was probably recorded from free trials. Remember, this is way before streaming. Youngsters, little kids, ask your parents what it was like back then. There would be premium channels, premium cable channels like the Disney Channel or HBO, Cinemax. Every once in a while, because there was no internet to subscribe to these things. But every once in a while, those cable channels would just be free. They would just be available. You turn your TV to that station and you can watch whatever they're airing. And they would be that way for about a week, and then they turn it off again. So that was their free preview. And my parents would take a look at the listings when they knew a preview was coming up, and they'd find all the movies that we wanted, and we would record every single one.
Very smart. Why subscribe when you can just watch those over and over again instead of having them play them for you?
Exactly.
Did your movie? Did you remember it having like a phone number down the bottom during the movie or something, or did they do that?
Sometimes, yeah. Stuff that we got from Disney Channel, they were big on putting that phone number across the bottom.
One thing I wanted to talk about is I noticed this time watching the movie, I think it's because I just watched all 3 Back to the Futures for October, is that Leah Thompson, she's amazing. I absolutely am head over heels in love with her. But in this movie, I think she has 2 different modes. She has you look like my son and I'm hot for you, or I just kissed you and it was like kissing my brother. If you watch SpaceCamp again, you'll see she has those 2 modes that she goes back and forth through. And there's a little bit of like trauma face when she can't figure out to press a button or not. Flip a switch.
I'm wondering, did we ever tell anybody that we're discussing the movie SpaceCamp from 1986?
I think. Did we say anything about that, Stacy, up front?
Yeah.
I don't remember if we did. Okay. So in case you're all wondering what we're talking about,
I swear I mentioned it.
She was
I am
in
jumping
another
around
movie
in
in the
time.
80s.
Let me check the total. We're up to, I refreshed it, $216. How can people donate, Stacy?
Go to GoFundMe.com/Serenity Space Camp.
Woo! And we wanted to thank our donators so far. We have, let me go through there. Where are they? They were just there. You'd think I'd figure this out. Okay.
Albie, no, we all know you. We know that you'll never figure it out.
Check out the podcast, Questionable Calls. It's amazing.
Yeah. If we ever thought that you would figure it out, we'd be so besides ourselves with frustration and despair.
All right, we have it.
Yeah.
Our flight commander, Allison Pregler. Thank you so much for donating. And Faith of the Heart, our very own Christopher D. Philippus from Trexploration is our pilot. And Rick Tatro is our payload commander. And Sam Fain is our mission specialist.
Sam Fain from Fate's Wide Wheel podcast.
Wide Wheel, Quantum Leap stuff, and everything else.
He was my bitter enemy for a while. He was my competition. He was doing Quantum Leap, and he was getting like exclusives with like with freaking Ray.
Yep.
And Dean, and
Friendly
it's like all of us. The writers are on their show and naming characters after them, and they're like, Chris who?
They carved their names in the trees.
Chris.
There was no Albie and Chris.
The trees.
Oh well.
They said there was no A, B, and C, D. There was just S. What they say it was S and A, right?
So, yeah. So we weren't bitter or jealous for a while.
No,
we
it
were
was
just happy for them.
It was S and D, and everyone thought it was Scott and Dean, but they said it was Sam and
Dennis. Yeah.
So
I'm hoping if Quantum Leap gets another reboot, they might mention Albie somewhere in there.
Right? You know? I mean, anyway.
At least I got to name Addison Anderson's middle name. So that was me.
Addison's last name was Anderson?
No, Addison. What is it?
Right? Augustine?
Augustine. I gave her middle name, though. So that was me. That was my little contribution. I should have named her Albie. Her middle name Albie, but I didn't.
Her middle name is Allison, by the way.
Her middle name is Allison. I named her after our very own Allison Pregler. So
who you can see in the other version of this video.
So we're after dark. Let's talk about the adult themes in this kids movie.
I thought I already talked about
I'm pretty sure that happened during the earlier session.
Well, then you guys talk about something.
Scott, you were how old when you first saw this film?
It would have been about 8 or 9. I doubt that I saw it in the year that it came out. It was probably, that movie was probably about a year old when I got to it. So probably 8.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because Albie has made note that there were a couple of versions, and I was very surprised when I watched this film, having not seen it before, thinking it's, a PG kids movie, that they went from the sign-in at the space camp to girls in their underwear and in bed scene. Was that in the version that you saw, or did you
Oh
see
yeah.
the Boulderized family version?
No, one thing that I did note was I did not get to the end of this viewing thinking, "Wait, what happened to that scene that I remember?"
Hmm.
And there was nothing here that was unfamiliar to me. So what I saw today was what I saw when I was a kid, and it had everything. It had the kids or uh, the girls' dorm with the underwear. It had the multiple profanities. It had the whole shebang.
Yeah, if it had the S word a bunch, then you saw the whole movie. Yeah. Now, there's something somebody mentioned today somewhere. There was an alternate ending. Was that you, Stacy?
Yeah.
What's
I
that
saw
about?
a video that mentioned it. Um, so at some point they were supposed to be rescued by the Russians,
What?
and they decided to change it to make it so they save themselves, which makes more sense because then there's some point to the movie that they actually learned how to work together and did something.
Although, our main protagonist, who was sort of like the erstwhile hero because, he was just a white guy that could smile, Kevin, who became the mission commander. He had the whole thing in the beginning when he's trying to make out with Catherine that why bother trying anything? We're all going to get nuked anyway. So he was living in the shadow of Armageddon during the height of the Cold War in the Reagan 80s. All of a sudden, to have the Russians come in to save them, that would have been an interesting wrinkle to maybe teach him that death could maybe be staved off a little bit. It's not inevitable that we're all going to die in nuclear winter.
That would
Maybe
have
they
been
went
good.
for a different message, right? I don't know.
That would have been good. I think I remember what you're talking about, Stacy. Was it Russian space camp kids?
Yeah, I think that's what it said, but that's not clicking in my brain how that would work.
I'm
Because
thinking Jinx would like tap into
does
the
that mean the
internet.
Russian space camp kids went in space on purpose?
Well, they were
Right?
sending
Or
dogs up and cats and women, so they
did it
probably
just
sent kids up.
happen? Did it just happen the same time as it happened in America? And it's just like, think of the coincidence. And they were like,
Thermal
"Boy,
curtain failure. What's the chances of it happening twice at the same time? More than 1 in 4.9
But they were
million.
more competent, apparently, because they not only could save themselves, they saved the American kids too.
them Russians."
So, why was that guy driving the Jeep barefoot? That bothered me. How are you going to drive a Jeep barefoot? And he drove it 14 hours from Huntsville, Alabama to Kennedy Space Center. Barefoot. Isn't that against the law?
Should I give a synopsis of the film?
That would be
Nobody
great.
knows
Now
what
we're up to
hell
the
we're
time where there's a synopsis of SpaceCamp, the movie from 1986, starring Leah Thompson, Kate Capshaw, Joaquin Phoenix, Kelly Preston, and others.
and
Tate-
others. Terry O'Quinn.
Scott,
Terry
Tate
O'Quinn,
Tate Donovan
Tate
and
Donovan, which sounds like
Uh,
someone from V, but he's
Tom
not.
Skerritt.
Tom Skerritt.
Tom Skerritt, mustache. Chris,
Hi.
this is After Dark.
The movie opens and a young Andy, who is Kate Capshaw's character, who sounds like Cornpone, is sitting in a field in Smallville, Kansas, looking up at the stars. And Ma Kent comes out and says, "Come in, or you won't be able to see it. It's on TV." And she's looking up and she's saying, "No, I'll see it here." And all of a sudden, she sees a speck of light in the sky floating across, and it twinkles in the night sky, and she said, "That's John Glenn. He winked at me. I'm going up." That's also when I do Penelope's voice. That's what Penelope sounds like. Hi,
She's Southern.
my name is Penelope. Yeah, she's from Texas. So, yeah,
She sounded a little bit like Andy McDowell from Groundhog Day.
I guess I don't know. I've only seen that movie once. I didn't like it that much.
Well, if you saw it once, you saw it 8 times.
Pretty much. So anyway, we cut to grown up Andy, played by Kate Capshaw,
Ooh,
she is now
yeah.
she's a hotshot pilot, and I guess
Wow.
she's in the NASA space program, but things aren't going well for Andy because it turns out that she was passed over for the next NASA mission, and she's stuck this summer now going to space camp with her boyfriend, who I like to call Picket Fence's mustache. That would be
Tom Skerritt.
Tom
Zach.
Skerritt, yes.
Jesus
and
Christ, Zach is his full name.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Zach. Why would I want to go to
His
space
parents
camp
were
with you and a bunch
religious.
of goddamn kids?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're married.
Are they
Yeah, I
married?
think they're married.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's
my
an
wife
extra
and 5
astronaut.
kids. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's an astronaut of some kind, apparently.
Yeah, he's
He's
been up.
been to space.
He's been
He's
up.
been up. She hasn't.
But she
And
hasn't.
he's like, hey, guy, relax. She'll get up there
Hey, guy.
sometime.
Might be
And
Canadian.
so she reluctantly takes her post at Space Camp, and the next scene we meet our motley crew of Space Camp cadets. They include Lorraine Baines McFly, also known as Leah
Catherine.
Thompson.
Leah
She plays
Thompson.
Catherine. There's also I got to hear Rudy, who
Rudy.
is played by I don't know a young man.
He was in other things, wasn't he?
Larry B. Scott.
Yes.
Larry B. Scott.
He was in Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, that's where I know him
That's
from.
why I know him.
Yes,
he
he's
was Lamar
awesome
in
in that.
Revenge of the Nerds. Ah,
Yes.
thank you. I only saw that movie 1,000 times.
1,000 times. We've got Bush.
Oh, wait. This is After Dark.
This is
huh?
After Dark, yeah. Not my
All
favorite
right.
part. I was very confused as a kid. I was like, why do women have beards?
Anyway, oh, God.
It was a different
I got to
time.
leave now.
It was a different time.
Exploration is a family show, and I don't know if I can.
Is that what this
have
is?
my-
What channel are we
my-
on? We're on all the
my show
channels.
be-
All
my
of
show
them.
be involved. Yeah. Apparently, we're on the channel. Our channel should be like the squiggly line. Like,
I can do that.
uh-huh. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Also,
do.
part of the crew is Kelly Preston, the OG Buffy herself, as Tish, and there's also the nerdy Star Wars kid. His name is Max, because all children in all movies need to be named Max, apparently. And
He was named
of
after the
course,
dog.
our main guy, whose name is Kevin, he's sort of like the affable white guy who is, of course, going to be the hero because privilege.
Uh-huh.
And there's also an impossible robot named Jinx.
Jinx. Max is code.
I'm a Jinx. I feel like watching Piano Man now.
Max
Somewhere
and
in the
Jinx,
night.
friends forever. Played
So
by
they introduce themselves, and there's immediate tension between Leah Thompson and the Kevin character, because he wants to get in her pants and she just wants to be captain. There's tension between Andy and Leah Thompson, because she's riding Leah Thompson. Leah Thompson wants to be the captain, and she's like, "No, you're the freaking pilot." And she's also throwing shade on poor Tish, because Tish seems to be like a dumb valley girl.
right.
However, she's got like an eidetic memory. She's like the Sheldon Cooper of the bunch.
What did she get on her
Anyway.
SATs?
800 and
800s.
800.
Exactly. I
800,
think Scott would
yes.
win any trivia contest on this one.
Scott's got to ask us the trivia
Oh
questions
yeah.
later.
Oh yeah. Just make them up as you go.
Oh, geez. Put
You got
me on
time
the
to think about
spot.
So a space camp training montage ensues where we see that Catherine, and
Catherine.
Kevin,
Kate.
they get closer. Kate and Kevin get closer.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, she's an optimist. He's a fatalist. He thinks we're all going to get nuked by the Russians, as I mentioned.
Turns out Catherine was right. He was totally wrong.
Yeah, and the montage, they show them like in the simulators and like all the different things that they might have to do if they actually had to pilot a shuttle one day, as unlikely as that might be. And
I think
'Cause you're
that's
all
called-
dead.
Yeah.
we haven't gotten to that part yet.
I like
And
woo, woo.
Catherine and Kevin, they sneak away for a
Yeah,
rendezvous in the night
Yeah,
to go look at the shuttle on its launch pad, and they're kind of making out, but they get grassed out by the robot, Jinx, the robot.
It's
And,
a secret.
Yes, and Tom Skerritt, Picket Fence's mustache guy, and Kate Capshaw go looking for them, and they get in trouble. The next day, they have to go into the actual flight simulator.
They
and
get
work
rewarded
together
the
as a
next-
team,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And they're trying to work together as a team, but nobody can do anything. And essentially, their entire team dies upon reentry because nobody was watching. Nobody was watching, paying attention, like eye on the prize.
I'm going to blame Catherine on that one for micromanaging.
Could be. Could be.
I think every one of them failed to do the job that was assigned to
You're right.
them.
You're right.
I think you're right.
Max nailed it. Max sat in that armchair like nobody's business.
That's what he was
He was
supposed to
crying.
do, right?
He was crying his eyes out. I got problems with Max.
He had to go to the bathroom already. I think.
Already, right?
Oh, okay, that's right.
Small kid, small bladder.
He was going to be sick.
Oh.
Not that he had to go to the bathroom. He said, "Someone get me down from here. I'm going to be sick."
Oh, okay.
Right. So here's the thing. When they got in trouble before this whole montage where everybody died, because this is very important to the plot, Kevin was pissed off at Max because it was his dumb robot that grassed them out to the authorities and basically was cock blocking him. And he yelled at Max that there's no Jedi and stop being such a nerd and leave me alone and never talk to me again. And Max runs away saying, "Don't look at me." And Jinx follows him, and Max is like throwing a little hissy fit in, I don't know, I guess somewhere in like SpaceCamp, and he's saying, "I wish I could go out to space and get away from all of these assholes." And Jinx is just like, "Must get Max out into space." And Jinx takes it upon himself to speak to the NASA mission control computer, which by all of my elders sounds like the beautiful John Irons. This computer, it sounds exactly like
John Irons.
Yeah. So
Captain Game Show himself.
I wonder if this is going to come into play later in the movie somehow. So after that meltdown scene, it looks like this band of misfits is done. But somehow the next day, even though they're utter failures, they get picked to go sit in the actual shuttle for a shakedown of the engines, in which they actually fire a rocket booster because that's safe, so that they could get the experience of what would be like to take off. And this is where Jinx comes in with his crafty plan. He figures a 1 in 10 trillion billion chance of the rocket actually taking off by, what is it? What do they have to make fail out?
Thermal curtain failure.
Thermal curtain failure.
1 in 4.9 million chance.
Max convinces the computer, the NASA computer, mission control computer, that sounds like the beautiful John Irons. Jinx, yeah, it's not Jinx. It's not Max, it's Jinx. To initiate this thermal curtain failure, which the upshot is that in order to save the crew, they'll have to fire both boosters and take off into space. That's also the upshot, because the upshot is an upshot. Do you see what I did there? Anyway, so this
that
is
upshot gets a rim shot. The upshot gets a rim shot. And I have to sharpshoot Albie just real quick. It's not a 1 in 4.9 million chance.
What is it?
It's once every 4.9 million years.
Oh my goodness! So that would only be right if they launch once a year, which is not right.
And that's why Jinx says Max won't live that long. Because he's not going to live 4.9 million years.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
See, he
so
would win
anyway,
at trivia, guaranteed. Great job, Scott.
All right, let me see if I can recycle
You've
some
been
of the
training
jokes
for this your whole life, Scott.
Stacy, you and I aren't needed here. What are we doing here? So anyway, the plan, Jinx's grand scheme works, and the boosters both fire, and the shuttle goes up, and halfway up, almost as they're reaching the escape velocity, the radios give out because the radios weren't supposed to be installed until Tuesday. And the shuttle gets into orbit, but they cannot establish communications with mission control because they only have the shortwave radio, not the long range radio. So, but Andy's pretty smart. She's an astronaut candidate anyway, so she knows the deal. And she's like, "Look, all we got to do is sit tight. In 12 hours, we'll be back into the window where they can bring us down, and they'll just do it automatically. They'll automate it. They'll bring us down by themselves. But wait a minute, there's a rub. Not enough oxygen on board to last that 12 hours. They'll die of suffocation or hypoxia before they reach that window because the O2 tanks were supposed to be installed next Tuesday." So they come up with a brilliant plan. There is a I guess, a proto space station that's kind of in orbit called Daedalus, and it just happens to conveniently have spare oxygen tanks on it.
That's
So they
about
say,
the only thing it does have.
right. So this
That
is
and
what we're going to do. It's
scaffolding,
got,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's just the scaffolding.
Yep, scaffolding, one dish, and 2 tanks of oxygen.
The
I feel
dish
like
isn't
there's a
connected
solar
to
panel
anything,
on
I
there,
don't
too.
think. Is it?
There's
The
a couple
oxygen,
solar
maybe?
panels.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. So they say let's rendezvous with Daedalus. We'll do an EVA. I'll go out. I'll get the oxygen. I'll fill up the oxygen tanks, and then we'll be hunky dory. We'll get to the window. NASA will bring us back down. What could go wrong, right?
Nothing. They're all set.
Everybody's happy anyway because they feel like, okay, Andy's got this. We're all floating in zero G. This is the greatest thing ever. But it turns out they get to Daedalus. And they rendezvous with Rama, and Andy goes
That's
out.
been going through my head.
Andy goes out, but she's too fat and bulky in her spacesuit to fit
Fat
between the
shaming in
scaffolding.
86.
All right,
She was a
Fat
good
chick,
Bucko 5, if anything.
little suit. Exactly. She's too. Kate Capshaw, you're just too damn fat.
She might have been smaller than Joaquin Phoenix.
So she's got to reach through the scaffolding to get the oxygen, but she just can't manage to do it. It's just too damn bulky.
She could have done it. She could have like
she
broke
even
her
takes off
shoulder
her
like
thruster
Lethal Weapon
pack,
and did it.
right?
Yeah.
She'd be like Mel Gibson.
Yeah, exactly.
She takes off her thruster pack and everything, which is pretty dangerous because
Yeah,
if
no
she
tethering,
loses,
right? Oh my
no
God, I
tethering.
was so nervous.
Just fly off. She'll fly off going 16.5 thousand miles per hour and be lost in the void. But she's brave. So the kids on board realize the oxygen is just about run out. Andy can't get to the oxygen. So what is the most logical course of action? We'll put Max, because he's little, in a spacesuit that's made for someone 3 times his size. And then we'll scrunch it all up with this magic belt that Tick's wearing. You called it, Albie, what's it called?
The Infinity Belt.
The Infinity Belt.
It's as long as you need it to be.
It just keeps wrapping around and around and around Max.
Yeah.
Possibly the most egregious
Continuity
gaffe
error
in the movie, because that's a thing that Tom and I even noticed, and we were preteens at that point, and we were still like, "That's too much belt."
I was 10 years old and I realized it. I think the prop people knew what they were doing and they just went ridiculous with it for the joke, maybe just for themselves.
So anyway, so now we have the most experienced flight person on the crew out and about doing an EVA, and the least experienced and probably the most deadly, the most likely to die, Max, because juxtaposition is funny, and because
he was
Max,
actually more experienced than any of the teenagers. This is his 3rd summer there.
That's true, but he's never been out on a spacewalk, and this is what I have a problem. I have a problem with Max. Here's Max's problem. He's bitching and bitching throughout the whole beginning of the movie. He even convinces Andy to let him into the grown-up thing because he's been there 3 times. And then the second he gets out into space, he's a little bitch crying that he wants to go home. You'd think that he would be the most thrilled of all of them. He's in that stupid arm in the simulator thing. He's like, "Get me down, guys. I'm feeling much better. Can I come back in? Let me back in, guys. I'm feeling much better."
I don't think that's how that would work. You can't flip one switch and make it go like this. I don't think so.
So Max he's a liar. I mean, he's just
a child.
He's a kid. He pretends that he wants what he wants, and then he gets what he wants.
He turns into the Joker later.
I guess.
He didn't want to go to space. He just wanted to hang out with the cool kids.
Okay.
Right, and the cool kids broke his heart, and that's why they're all in space. You see?
They
Max
were bullies.
is the catalyst for all of this mishigash that's going on.
He made a
here.
wish and it came true. Robots.
When you wish upon a star, people die. So they send Max out because it's what's coming to him, really.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You're tiny. You crawl through the scaffolding. You get the oxygen." And lo and behold, he does. He gets out there, and they have a moment. And she's like, "You're a great kid, Max." And they get the oxygen, and they bring it back to the shuttle.
She says that after she is scared to death that Max shows up, because apparently no one bothered to get on the damn radio and say, "Oh, by the way, we're sending this 11-year-old out to you."
It's better drama that way.
And how did he get there? Was there more than one MMU? Or did he just kind of like push off and hope for the best? How did he get there? Anyway.
He was the one using the toilet, so maybe he had some residual gas. He just flew under his own power.
Mhm.
How about that?
Don't
All
forget
right?
to turn on the fan.
That kid has a lot of control. That's
Mhm.
all I can say. Anyway, so they get the oxygen back to the shuttle. They're in the payload area. The what is that? Like the
Cargo bay.
the landing cargo
I
bay.
think,
Thank
right?
you. Cargo bay. Yes. The botany
Might be
bay.
payload. Payload
Botany
specialist.
bay.
Yeah, maybe.
So, and they hook up the oxygen to the right valve. Space Dudley, what's his name?
Rudy. And I think Rudy was
Rudy.
colorblind.
Do you think Rudy was colorblind?
Because he's like the yellow next to the blue next to the green. And she's like,
Thompson's
there's
just
no
like,
green.
no, it's not. It's the next to the red. And he's like,
problem was there were
no.
2 blues.
Right.
Why would there be 2 of the same color? There were 2 blues, and the manual said blue, but they didn't know which blue.
So they had to figure out which one.
And there was a green one. It was down in the corner. It's not
lower,
easy
yeah.
to see, but it
Yeah,
was there.
one was next to yellow and one and they argued about which
One was
one
next
was
to
right.
red,
Of course,
right?
Catherine thought she was right, but she wasn't.
She wasn't because
Remind me to talk about Catherine being wrong all the time later.
Okay, I'll remind you about that. But
Thank you.
in this case, she was wrong, and Rudy was right. And they hook up one oxygen tank, and they're like, "Woohoo, we're home free!" So Kate Capshaw is just like, "Go inside, you rapscallion! I'll get this second oxygen tank hooked up." And of course, she screws up the connection when she activates the tank. It blows out, and it blows her back against the back of the cargo bay, knocking her out, breaking her ribs, breaking her arm, and
Newton's
it's
third
up to
law,
Max.
right?
Yep, it's up to Max to rescue her, and he grabs her by the tether as she's floating away, and he's trying to reel her in. However, it's at this point that the shuttle gets back into range and NASA takes over and tries to automate the landing. However, they're closing the cargo bay doors. Andy's still outside. Max is just like, what do we do? She's going to burn up on reentry. And it's that point when Kevin takes over because
They forgot Kevin.
Catherine is paralyzed.
Catherine.
She doesn't know what to do. And Kevin's just like, you have to abort the mission. And he presses the switch, and NASA has 1 second to spare, of course, because drama.
The window.
Of course.
And NASA does not have control of the shuttle anymore, so they bring Andy back in. They put her into like the little cocoon thingy so that she doesn't float away and break more bones.
Sleeping
But
bag.
they're in the same predicament. They only have so much oxygen. They can't make the landing window again. They don't know what they're going to do. And it takes Rudy to say, hey, wait a minute, we could land in White Plains. And Kevin's just like, come on, White Plains in the middle of New York. What do you mean? And of course, it is Tish, I think, that says, oh, you mean White Sands.
Catherine.
Because, oh, it's Catherine that says it. Okay. Well, Tish is a genius. I don't want to give Tish the short shrift
And
here.
she's great at makeovers.
She does makeovers and Morse code. So, I mean, she's got her uses.
She's
is
good
all
at
I'm
Morse
saying.
code. I mean, they're reading words really quick with those blinky lights. I'm just saying.
And if you want to say, this is going to be after dark, I mean, that's Kelly Preston, who was in, what was the movie? Mischievous, or anyway, she's good for other things too.
Okay,
After
send
Dark
me
stuff.
links later.
Okay.
Yeah, I was today years old, by the way, when I realized that Kelly Preston was in this movie.
Right. OG
Yeah,
Buffy.
she
Buffy.
hides in her characters very well.
See, this is the second time, Chris, that you said OG Buffy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't
Wasn't
think
Kelly
that's
Preston?
right.
Wasn't she Buffy?
No,
That was Christy Swanson.
Yes.
Oh, I thought Kelly
Little bit
Preston was OG Buffy. Oh, I've made that mistake on the last show too. So
Oh, no,
egg on my face.
I let you do that because I think we'll get more comments underneath. So more
Oh, there we go.
interaction, more views.
See, it was all
More
planned, Scott.
sharing.
Why did you ruin it?
Well, because I need to add to my tally of how many different franchises and movies and properties can I throw out trivia for.
Ooh, okay, cool.
So Christy Swanson was Buffy, not Kelly Preston.
Yes.
Yes,
And what
that's
space
correct.
movie
But
was
they
she
have
in?
the same amount of syllables in their names.
They do. They're both
Right?
blonde.
Right?
They both had
So,
infinity belts.
I guess they both killed vampires in their spare time.
Yes.
So yes, so it wasn't the OG Buffy. All right. Oh well. What are you going to do? People
That
make
was Paul
mistakes.
Rubens, I believe.
I have to move on and finish the synopsis, I guess.
What are you going to do?
I'll look through
I'm going
some
to
of
call you out on a podcast recording.
You son of a.
Apparently,
After dark.
Okay, so they decide to land in New Mexico instead, and they have enough oxygen to do that. And it takes Catherine to pilot the ship because it's like kind of spinning out of control when it hits the atmosphere. But she perseveres and she overcomes, and the ship lands, and everybody lives happily ever after until the chestbuster busts out of Christy Swanson's chest and kills everybody. So, and everybody gets sued, and everybody dies of radiation cancer, and it's just the whole scene. But that's why they end it when the shuttle just hits the tarmac, and all's well.
Woo! Great job, Chris.
I think Max lived
Great
to the
job.
ripe old age of 12.
12. So I got to say, and you mentioned it this time, Max didn't want to be out there when he looked over the edge and saw to infinity. And, that's pretty high up. So if you're afraid of heights, I'm thinking, well, one, yeah, that's a long way to go. But two, there's no bottom, so you're not going to.
Right, there's
splat.
no down.
Yeah, you'll
Right.
freeze and run out of oxygen before you splat, which is pretty cool.
Right.
But I thought that was one of the funniest beats of the movie is where he's like looks over and then you just see him banging, I want to come back in, let me back in. Because if I was like 11 or 12, I'd be like, let me in.
And I think that there's a whole Mandela thing going on here. I think Christy Swanson and what's her name?
Kelly Preston.
Sarah
Kelly
Michelle
Preston.
Gellar?
They were both Buffy at
Yeah.
some point.
She might have been
I
Faith
think,
in the movie. I don't know.
I think we slipped into a pocket dimension. I feel like the Matrix is glitched.
It's possible.
Because I can never be wrong. Okay.
I don't know you to be.
So Max, huh? That kid.
Yeah.
That kid is the catalyst for everything bad that happens to everybody.
I have to say, even if you had the Infinity Belt, the way spacesuits work is they're like little pressurized space ships that are human-sized, human-shaped. The pressure inside to make everything work right, it wouldn't work like that. And there's another shot where you see his feet like in the maneuvering arm, and like you just see him wiggling his toes in socks. It's like that's not how that works. So a couple things like that took me out of it.
I didn't notice the sock wiggling, but you have a foot fetish. So
No, not at all. I think I got a thing for clavicles, maybe.
I don't think I want to be on the show anymore.
It's after dark. That's what she signed up for. Wait until we get to the crushes. We didn't do that in the first episode. We're doing that in episode 2, our crushes. All right. Different things in this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this as an adult, right? Realizing that these are like 20-something-year-old people playing kids. And I thought it was kind of creepy that this like 26-year-old guy was making out with this like, maybe 17, 18-year-old Leah Thompson. So I look everything up later on after watching it the first time recently. And Tate Donovan was 23 and Leah Thompson was 25. So Leah Thompson was actually older than Kevin in this movie, which surprised me.
She was robbing the cradle.
Yeah. So like the creepiness I felt for it being wrong, I had it all wrong and it was opposite.
Maybe it was like her kissing her brother or son.
She had the kissing my brother look. Like every time she couldn't make a decision, she looked like she had just kissed Michael J. Fox.
I think that Leah Thompson maybe has two expressions that she brings out whenever she feels appropriate.
Personally,
so,
I like
both of them in this movie and both of them in the other movie.
Personally, I like the one where she's horny. That's my favorite expression of hers. I don't know why.
Okay.
But we have to talk about her whole storyline of a failure to make decisions, because she knows to override one of these. She knows to override and find the override switch and override it so they don't make the window to White Sands because they got to save Andy, right? But then Tate Donovan, Kevin says, "Stop." And then explains it. So he's actually causing her to stop when she was already going to do it. And then he has to make the decision, come in and save the day later.
No, she wasn't going to do it. And then he had to go and he flipped the switch when there was 1 second left.
After he told her to stop, because she was the one that thought of it and found the switch anyway.
The decision.
What?
Wait, say...
She couldn't make the decision. She didn't know what to do. She thinks she wants to be a leader, but when it came down to it, she didn't know how to lead, and she needed someone else to make the decision.
Why is that the storyline? Is it because it's 80s?
It's the 80s, and she's a dippy broad. Yeah, she needs a firm hand. I mean,
I think she was going to flip the switch
and
before
that's
Kevin
the
stopped
lesson,
her.
kids.
Yeah, it's not a good moral message of meaning right there. And what was the other
I was
thing?
joking about that. I don't think she was a dippy broad. I don't think in those terms. I was just doing comedy for the podcast.
You're being
Please don't take
facetious.
that out of context. Yes.
You're expressing
all you
yourself
dippy,
like
all you dippy broads out there, don't at me. All right.
producer would in 1986 or 1985. You can't have the girl make the right decisions if she's a girl.
Right. We have to have that affable white kid on there for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. And the other thing was what? She would have killed people if Andy had hooked up the wrong oxygen hose or something.
Yeah.
Now, NASA engineering. I don't know this, but I'm going to guess if one hose will provide you oxygen and another hose will kill the entire crew, they're going to have different size and shape couplings, right?
Different colors. For sure.
At least different colors, but different shapes, so it's
Moving
impossible.
words
Because I
on
go to the
them.
gas station and I can't put diesel in my car. I'm like, why won't it go in? Oh, it's diesel. Right? So NASA has to have that figured out at least, right?
Hopefully they've figured it out since 1986.
I mean, yeah, the lessons that SpaceCamp taught us, it saves so many lives.
That and Morse code.
Thank you, Max.
I have to say, though, the ethanol pump, 100% ethanol, is the same size. So I did blow up one car. So after that, I learned to actually read the pumps. It was a gas shortage. It was a few years ago. And I had to get my daughter to Naples, and every real gas was out. And I figured, well, ethanol, all the gas I use has some ethanol in it. So this is just all ethanol.
It's going to be on your tombstone. It says, "Here lies Albert Mark Burge. He eventually read the pumps."
My car exploded. I dropped my daughter off fine, but on the way back from Naples, it just exploded. So I had to get a different car.
This is almost as funny as an episode of Star Trek Scouts.
So they
keep going.
So they should actually put 3 different sizes. I'm just saying.
That's what she said.
Scott, talk to us about SpaceCamp.
Oh, talking about SpaceCamp.
Oh boy.
I mean, I've never been, but
After dark.
anyway. So we're talking about how Catherine was, whether or not she was going to hit the switch. She was not going to hit that switch.
You don't think so? I say
No,
rewatch it and get back.
She was absolutely frozen. If Kevin had not reached over and hit the switch, she would have just stayed right where she was until the thing counted down, because then she would not have to say, "I made this decision to kill Andy." In her mind, she would at least be able to say, "Hey, it wasn't my fault. I didn't."
She didn't want to be responsible for killing people.
Right. Yeah.
He also was not consciously making the decision not to do it.
Well, why did Kevin have to stop her though? If she was stuck already.
Stop her from what?
Flipping the switch. She was about to flip the switch.
No, she was not about to flip the switch.
Okay.
He was stopping her from feeling like she had to be the one to make the decision.
Right, because he's the commander.
I'm the captain.
Okay, I'm the captain now. Comment down below.
She says poised.
Comment down below.
And Catherine, shh, the men are talking. Let me flip that switch.
She was poised to hit the override switch and cut off NASA, but she couldn't do it. She couldn't bring herself to do it. So Kevin had to do it for her because she was frozen. And this comes right on the heels of her almost getting everyone killed by giving the wrong valve. So you mentioned all these decisions that she's making are wrong. It's just a string of wrong decisions. And the question is why? Why is that her story? Because that way, when we get to the very end, the flat spin, which is calling back to the multi-axis trainer earlier in the movie, so she can conquer that and save the crew. That was the reason that she was wrong up until that point, is because that was where she got to be right. Or she got to prove that she can actually, pilot the ship.
So she had to know her place.
Yeah, and is it a little bit suspect that really she saved the day by learning how to deftly manipulate a joystick?
Whoa, After Dark.
Oh boy.
I don't know, man. This movie it's
She learned
fraught
that
with.
by kissing her brother. She's 18. It's
I
not like
thought,
she's
I
never
thought
parked before.
I thought it was her son.
Oh, that's right. It was like her brother. She's popular in the family, I think. So I don't know that kid from the Wonder Years, the older Jason Hervey. He was making out with Leah Thompson before the dad hit kids with the car on purpose. That's
What
a
do you
strange
mean you've
movie when you
seen
think about
this?
it.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
It's brand new. He was smiling a lot in that movie. A little bit jealous of Marty.
I'm delirious.
You broke Chris.
Yep, that's my goal every episode.
Oh yeah,
Woo!
that's
Goal achieved. Woo!
it's my favorite thing to aim for when I have him on my podcast is to see if I can make him do this.
Which is called That Star Trek Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to That Star Trek Podcast.
Hey, why is everybody listening to this episode of That Star Trek Podcast / Trexploration / Station 876 /
823.
It's Corman Productions Deep Dive TV
podcast, Al's Place, movie nights.
I said it right. You said it right.
Everything.
So why are we all here breaking Chris?
We are raising funds to send Serenity to SpaceCamp. She's brilliant. She got in. She wants to go to space. There might be a thermal curtain failure once every 4.9 million years. Thank you, Scott. We did pay the down payment, me and her mother, but there's the matter of the rest of it. And so we're trying to raise $1,377.
Quite a modest goal. Modest goal.
I think so for
In the vast
education,
scheme of
right?
things,
They recommended $5,000. We don't need $5,000. That'd be ridiculous. We just need what it is. And we have raised, let me look at the new total. Since we've been on the air.
Since we've been on the not live air.
Not live. $216. So that's actually 16%. That's actually 16% of what we need.
So how many
we're
percent
on the
do we
way, I
still
think.
need?
What?
So how much percent do we still need?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to say it ends with a 4 and it's going to be 84%. Is that right?
Isn't that ironic because you're on Starbase 84, right?
823. You got to listen to the theme song. Station 823. All right. Laserdisc to VCD. No?
Sure.
So to me, the Leah Thompson arc was almost like its own separate thing, that if you viewed it just from that, it was like a Twilight Zone episode. Right? Especially with every time she messed up, she kind of just froze and the camera swooped around her like, look at this girl who made a bad decision. Okay. I don't know. The reason I watched it was not for Joaquin Phoenix. It was for Leah Thompson. So whatever they paid her, it was worth it. They did lose money in the box office, right, Stacey?
They did, yes.
Yes, it was not a hit.
I don't remember the numbers, but it was like half of what they paid for the movie they made.
They must have made it back on VHS, maybe?
Do you make money on VHS?
International deals? I do, but that's another story.
Maybe we should talk about that. So
Stacey, what adult themes did you see in SpaceCamp that you couldn't talk about earlier today?
And what After Dark themes, Stacey?
Yes, After Dark. SpaceCamp 1986 After Dark.
You know, I wasn't watching this children's movie full of teenagers for a fundraiser for your 13-year-old daughter with that in mind.
Huh. Okay, I was. So let's talk about Kate Capshaw and that shirt.
That
My
shirt.
God. Okay.
Oh, that shirt that launched 1,000 ships, or at least one Atlantic shuttle. We don't know.
Yes, I was never into Kate Capshaw until I saw this movie in high definition. There's a blurry version on YouTube, but get the Blu-ray. It's worth it.
My rewatch today was, I believe, a 480p version on my phone.
Ooh. Hey, but it was just like listening to it again. You already knew it.
I was going to say for you, just a refresher.
Yeah.
That was the biggest difference for me in watching it today, is the sound on the copy that I was watching today. was clear. It was good. It was good sound. And it helped me realize the sound on the VHS copy that we had when we were kids was crap. There was so much dialogue in the movie that I didn't even know was there that I was hearing this time. For example, the very beginning, when young Andy is out on the lawn at night looking up at the sky. Never heard what Mom was saying.
No.
From inside the house. I never heard that before.
That was new. Yeah, I think it was, you might have saw either the home recording or the video treasures. The video treasures was such bad quality, but I loved it because I bought it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just fun to watch. I think that was the full version too, because I remember all the curse words and stuff.
Oh, those I remember. They made sure that those words were clear, but some stuff, it was just it's that buzzing hum that you get from old VHS movies and whatnot, especially on the old TVs. So it's just gonna be that.
And we just got used to it, and that's how we lived. But light bulbs made that same sound. Everywhere you went was humming. Everywhere. It was a different time.
Mm-hmm.
We all thought we had tinnitus. Little did we know.
I have a question.
Sean Ray would say it's tinnitus.
Yeah, I know. He would also say it's a biopic. So
biopic.
We know. Yeah, we know how Sean pronounces things, and we don't have to talk about it here.
The great Sean Ray from the Infinite Potato Alliance. Make sure you check those guys out.
He also says telekinesis. So
is that on purpose, or is he British or something? He doesn't sound British. Oh, okay.
Anywho, Albie, where do we go from here?
What else is left to talk about this movie that we haven't talked about already? There's got to be something. Oh, the one thing I noticed, I don't think Jinx could move on his own. Like, he might have been able to, like remote controlling. I'm talking IRL. But those wheels didn't seem to be hooked up to anything, like any belts or gears. So I think they were probably just pulling him around on fishing line. Thoughts?
No, I thought it was a real robot. I thought
it's
you
a
could
real
go
robot,
see.
But I think it was also puppeteered, right?
I thought that Rennie, when she goes to SpaceCamp, is actually going to meet Jinx. He's probably got to be better now.
When I went to Kennedy Space Center, I specifically asked, "Is Jinx here?" Because he travels around the different museums and stuff, from what I understand, and they said no. And they told me where it was, but while they were telling me where Jinx was, like, my vision went blurry and my sound kind of went out because I was just so disappointed that Jinx wasn't there.
Yeah, that's why your vision went blurry and the sound. I wonder how much collaboration actually happened between the production team and NASA when they were making this, because Jinx is all NASA branded and NASA's all over the entire movie. So I have to think that there was some kind of agreement.
They participated in it. And it's one of those things with NASA that if you're going to use NASA, they have to have approval of all the things. Otherwise, it's like IASA or something else, you know?
Yeah, from what I understand, that was the point of the movie, was a collaboration between NASA and Hollywood to reinvigorate the idea of going to SpaceCamp.
It worked for me.
I feel like this is really bad branding for them, though. They're like, hey, we're going to like tell you to send your kids here where we're not going to watch them, and, you know, they might die.
Is it bad they're not open for thermal curtain failure?
They're gonna sneak out so they can go to the beach.
Right. They're gonna neck by the launch pad.
Yeah, it does not feel like very great endorsements for SpaceCamp, but that was their goal. That was their 80s endorsement for SpaceCamp, was this looks great. You want to do this. Send your kids here.
I'm just blown away by the fact that Chris said necking, and that's exactly the term that I was going to use, and I haven't heard anyone use that term for that activity in like 30 years.
Maybe we read the same books growing up, Scott. I don't know.
Well, I think that they might have, you know, used sex to sell SpaceCamp, because yes, they're 25 years old, but the kids watching this wanting to go to SpaceCamp goes, maybe there's going to be a cute girl there, and they ask their parents to go to a SpaceCamp, right? I don't know.
Right? Maybe they think that they're going to neck.
Like, if I knew Leah Thompson was somewhere, I would go there.
Right? Or Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So it didn't work for me because I didn't make my parents send me to the space camp, right? I don't think I could have got in, probably. But I mean, depending if there was an entrance exam, yes. If it went by my grades, no. But it did work on me as to when Serenity came to me and she said, "I have something to talk to you about." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "I have the possibility of going to space camp." I jumped up and I was like, "Yes, let's do it. We got to do this. You go to space camp. This is gonna be awesome." So it did work on me, just for Rennie. So they made a long-term investment, is what I'm saying. So they made the movie, and 40 years later, it pays off because Serenity is going to go to space camp if and only if you donate to Serenity going to space camp. GoFundMe. There's a QR code on the screen. There's a link.
GoFundMe.com/Serenity Space Camp.
Yes. Should we check the total again?
Because they need your $1,377 to make up for the money they lost on this movie.
Right. That's true. That's true.
NASA.
Right. We have to take the black, like the red tape out of the budget for this film. Once they're in the black, then we can put the rest of the money towards Rennie. So we're gonna need more than that $5,000 they recommend. Now we know why they recommend $5,000.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to go crazy and put some weird number up that we would never achieve, right? I wanted something realistic. But if we do raise anything over above, it'll be used for travel costs, hotel expenses. She has a list of stuff.
Jinx.
Huh?
To repair Jinx.
Yeah, we've got to repair Jinx and the dish on the data list that doesn't.
You gotta fix that. Somebody's gotta fix that.
Pay the bill for breaking data lists, and
you might want to send her with her own oxygen tanks.
That's a good idea.
And she's gonna need her own infinity belt.
Yes. I gotta get her an infinity belt before that.
Yeah.
It's like, what character do you want to cosplay while you're there, right?
Kate Capshaw's still paying the medical bills for the
Kate
broken
Capshaw.
and the broken arm. Yeah.
So there's
And
the
she
list
also
of stuff
needs
she has to pack with her and take with her, like a
to-
canteen and a compass and like a ridiculous list. So that'll probably go to that too.
You tell her to bring an extra bra for Kate Capshaw.
Yep. Well, no,
A little bit more appropriate.
no. That was in her contract. No bra.
That's why Spielberg married her.
It's funny, the 80s. She's playing a brilliant scientist that is an astronaut, but she has to not wear a bra.
Anyway,
so make sure you go there, donate as much as you can, and if you have access to other people's money, donate more.
And share.
That's important. If you can't donate, that's fine. Share. Put it somewhere.
If you can't donate, we'll share.
Put it in the hands of people that are capable of donating and helping Serenity get to space camp.
Send the link to Leah Thompson.
Tom Skerritt, Joaquin Phoenix,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
right? Basically anybody in a different class.
Terry O'Quinn.
Some of us.
John Locke
Terry O'Quinn. He's got that Lost money, right?
Send it to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all that. He's got all that hatch money.
All we have to do is have one piece, because one of those people, they would just look at that and just go, "Okay, $1,300. That's fine."
And keep in mind, everyone, that Leah Thompson might be a little bit more reachable than you think, because several years ago there was. I'm trying to remember. I am a graphic artist and designer on the side. And,
brilliant graphic artist and designer.
Pshaw. And there was some funny graphic, like a meme that someone put out on Twitter back when I was actually on Twitter before it became okay.
I'm out.
And I thought it was entertaining and funny, and I did my own riff on it and I posted it. And it had something to do with Tom Cruise, and whatever it was, I incorporated Tom Cruise into the poster for Howard the Duck. And I posted that. And I think it was probably like hashtag Howard the Duck. I might have put in an @ for Leah Thompson. I can't remember, but I know that whether I did or not, she saw it and she liked it. So if I can get her attention with something that stupid, then you can probably get her attention with something that
I'd like for her. It's worlds colliding, because she made out with Tom Cruise in a movie and she made out with Howard the Duck in a movie. So
which movie did she make out with Tom Cruise? What did I miss?
All the right moves.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Haven't seen it. Why haven't I seen it?
I don't know why you haven't seen it. The way you talk about Leah Thompson, I figure it's the first thing you would have seen after.
Okay,
Back
send
to
me
the
a
Future.
link. Yeah,
Anyway.
my dream is to host. Like remember during the pandemic, everybody was getting together, casts and stuff. My dream is to
find the
host a
wide open
commentary
back
for this
cushion.
movie with Joaquin and Leah and Kelly.
Make it happen.
Yeah, we could do it.
I got some bad news for you, Albie.
Oh no, Tate Donovan's passed away.
No, Kelly.
Kelly Preston passed away?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm in the late 22nd century right now, so all you guys are really dead to me. But luckily, maybe I got to reach back further in time. So it's good I didn't reach out to her people. That would have been awkward.
Okay. I don't know.
So, final thoughts and ratings for SpaceCamp 1986 After
Screeching
Dark.
crash that was Scott derailing the entire podcast.
After I had no idea, so it's definitely setting this show in time. All right, I was just going to keep changing the GoFundMe to Serenity SpaceCamp 2027, Serenity SpaceCamp 2028, right? All right, let's start off with Stacy this time. Final thoughts and ratings for SpaceCamp 1986 After Dark.
Well, I don't think my mind has changed since we talked about this 4 hours ago. I will still rate it a 4. It was fun. It was fine.
For what?
4. Let's see. What do we got? 4 fast food joints on the moon.
All right. Somebody's going to want a Big Mac in space. Big Mac
Yeah.
attack, right? All
That made
right.
no sense.
Well, when the future was bright, and things were going to happen, now it'd be the same Big Mac from the 1986. Still be up there. It'd still be good. Scott, final thoughts and ratings for SpaceCamp 1986.
There are a lot of movies that you can watch after like 20 years, 20, 30 years of not seeing it. And then you rewatch it and you wonder what was wrong with you back when you were a child to think that this movie was okay. This is not one of those movies. This one was fine. I don't really anticipate going back and watching it again just for kicks, but I do not regret the time that I spent rewatching it so I could be on this podcast. I now understand a few more scenes than I did when I was a kid. I caught some dialogue that I hadn't heard before, and I never realized that Frank Welker was the voice of Jinx. So that's also a nice bit of information I picked up today. So putting all that together, it's the Frank Welker that puts it over the top and qualifies it as a 5 Infinity Belts.
Ooh, all right.
Wow.
Nice. This has got to be probably in my top 10 kids movies that I still love as an adult. And I see myself going back to it. I've been going on eBay and looking at the laser discs, looking at the different copies of VHS, because like I said earlier, I don't have any physical copies of this. So I need something. And right now, the John Williams LP is looking good. There's only one on eBay. And the widescreen Laserdisc is looking really good. There's 2 on eBay. I love the movie. I can't really, things bump me because it wouldn't make sense, but you need them for the story to progress. So that's the 80s of it, I think. And I think the 80s of it is cute and endearing, and it makes it snuggly for me, and I love it. Like this is a movie I could just listen to and enjoy, or just like put it on and just, do something else, but have the happy feeling of it existing in the world. And yeah, Leah Thompson. Wow. So I'm going to give it 5 closeted Jinx out of 5. It was a different time. People were in the closet back then. Chris.
It's nice to finally see a movie where Kate Capshaw can live up to her considerable potential as an actress, and she carried it admirably.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun to see her on screen taking charge with a bad Southern accent. Um, as much as I like this movie, though, it still is just a pale shadow compared to the sequel when Thanos comes and commandeers the Infinity Belt and snaps half the universe out of existence. So,
Thanos was right.
but that being said, I mean, this is a simpler time. I mean, Max had it coming. We all know that. But
Kid made
you
a
know,
wish. He didn't know it was going to come true.
anyway, yeah, as I had said earlier, this movie is not great, but it's not terrible. It just ekes out and is better than the sum of its parts by this much because of strong performances, I feel, all around. Even though it had a lot of dumb plot stuff because movie, I feel all the performances were genuine and everybody gave it their best. And for that, I think the movie stands out more than it should. So I'm going to give it 4. What can we say? 4 broken Kate Capshaw ribs out of 8.
Oh, nice. Nice. All right. So if you want Serenity to go to Space Camp, which I do, I think we all do here, right? That's why we're doing this.
That's why we're here.
There's a QR code on the screen. You can go to the link down below or in the description or both. And Stacy, where can they go if they're just like visually impaired?
GoFundMe.com/Serenity Space Camp.
Thank you for that. And we're up to a total. I'll give you a final total. So far, we're at $216.
Hopefully, by the time anyone sees this, that number is high.
Yeah. So
Yes.
comment down below if the number's higher. And share this. And thank you for everyone who is collaborating with this. How many channels have we collaborated with for this endeavor? This what 7 to 9 part endeavor, Stacy? Could you name them all? Because you're the one with the brains.
I can't name them all.
Okay, we got Trexploration.
There's Foreman Productions Deep Dive TV podcast, Al's Place. That's 3 right there.
3 right there. Al's Place, Station 823, Trexploration, the Infinite Potato Alliance, I'm sure, somewhere in there.
That's Star Trek
which includes that Star Trek podcast, right? And maybe there's going to be a Captain Game Show. Are we going to do trivia? Maybe? Do we know?
It's up to John.
Okay. And I'm sure Allison's doing something. And who else? Is that everybody?
Yeah, the movie nights.
Fandom Entanglement.
Yep.
Fandom Entanglement. Damien's going to put
Fandom
something
Entanglement. The Quantum Leap podcast. And there's
you
one
go.
more. There's one more. I don't know.
There are just so many of them. Trekaholic.
Oh, yeah. Trekoholic's doing something, right? Sure. So
Yeah.
we're going to have a great time doing all these. Make sure you go by the playlist. Make sure you go to the next one and give all you can. Thanksgiving. That's what it's all about. Sending smart girls to Space Camp. At least that's the way I learned it. All right. Scott, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, when in production, I can be found as the host of that Star Trek podcast on the Infinite Potato Alliance podcast network. You can find the page for the show and a separate page for the network on Facebook.
Nice.
So go look us up, that Star Trek podcast and the Infinite Potato Alliance podcast network. Also, we can be found on Discord, but I cannot remember how to look for that because I'm too old to properly use Discord.
I don't know how to Discord.
How about that cord?
That's the next thing coming out. Chris, where can people find you?
You can find us at youtube.com/@Trexploration, where many of you might be watching this right now. Please go to GoFundMe.com/Serenity Space Camp and contribute, share, like, subscribe, do all the things that you would normally do, but try to send everybody you know over to that GoFundMe page so that we can get that brilliant, wonderful kiddo up into a shuttle and in orbit in mortal danger, because it's just what she deserves. I mean, she's that
Leah
smart.
Thompson and Joaquin Phoenix, though.
With Leah Thompson, and she could be the Max, but not annoying.
Right.
She could be a competent Max.
She
And isn't that all we can ask of our children, to be a competent Max?
I want to say she's most like Kelly Preston. because she's got the girly girl pretty thing going on, but she's also hyper super intelligent and has like an almost eidetic memory. It's crazy.
And knows Morse code too. So.
Stacy, where can people find the DV Deep Dive podcast?
Corman Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. You can find us on the YouTube channel, Corman Productions. We're also on all of the different podcast platforms, although our shows are on delay going there, so come to YouTube. Linktree.com/Corman Productions, Facebook group, Corman Productions, Deep Dive TV podcast group.
Al's Place.
Here and there and wherever. Corman Productions.
All right, and you and Dave are going to be doing something special for
we are doing
fundraiser.
Quantity 2022 episode Atlantis, which has an awful lot and similar with this movie. We're gonna be doing that next week for the fundraiser.
Nice.
And I think
Thank you.
Albie's gonna be joining us for that.
I might be.
If we can wake him up at the early morning hours of 5 p.m.
Yes, it's going to be an early day for me, but I can do it. Are there other shows we can announce yet? There are plans for other shows.
There will be other shows.
Across all the networks.
Maybe.
Okay, so be on the lookout for those. Like, share, subscribe, but just do that all at GoFundMe, I guess. .com/Serenity
Space Camp.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. And wow. Episode 2 of Send Serenity to Space Camp in the books. For Station 823, I'm Albie.
For Trexploration, I'm Chris.
For that Star Trek podcast, I'm Scott.
For Corman Productions, I'm Stacy.
And we'll see you next time. Peace out. Bye.
Bye. Send that kid to space.
Send that kid to space. She's going up.
I'm going up.
So was she watching that? John Glenn, was that on the moon landing or like the first orbit? Was that supposed to be? I think the first orbit, right?
No, first orbit would have been Alan Shepard.
So this was the moon landing.
Gagarin. That was probably an Apollo mission. Something.
Okay,
yeah.
Maybe orbit the Earth or something.
Space.
The space stuff.